Hey there, I wanted to do a different type of video today. And so this video is a little bit different because I am going to be sharing something with you that I haven't really shared on social media or even talked about in my videos. I actually had quite a few episodes of this this year, and they lasted a little longer than usual. So today I'm going to be talking about SVT, which is supraventricular tachycardia. Supraventricular tachycardia is actually when the heart beats really fast for no reason other than positional change. It could be due to exercise. It just beats really, really fast, like from 100 beats per minute to 300 for no reason. So I haven't shared this with you because I really started to experience this a little bit more this past year. So I'll start with how I actually came to learn about it. Back in April, at the end of April, I was here in Southern California interviewing for a job. And I was at my boyfriend's house and I was bending over to get something, and all of a sudden my heart started palpitating really, really fast. And I was like, okay. I had to slow down and just wait for it to go back to normal. I have had that happen when I would be exercising, where I would bend over and I would kind of reach over and get something, or leaning down or picking up a weight. It would happen, it would be really, really fast, almost like it's out of sync, and then it would get back in sync maybe after less than a minute. So I would just kind of have to stop, catch my breath, and like let myself catch up to my heart, if that even makes sense. But that's what it would feel like in the past. This time at the end of April when I was here, it kind of was going really fast, and I was like, okay, hold on. I couldn't really talk. He asked me what was going on, and I just couldn't talk. I was just like, hold on a minute. And I was just trying to calm myself down, waiting for it to kind of go away, and I waited and waited. A few minutes went by, and then I told him what was going on. At that point, I did have my Fitbit that he had gotten me in the beginning of April for my birthday, and my Fitbit was reading 168 beats a minute. I wasn't exercising. So I was trying to just calm down. I knew that in the past it would go back to normal on its own. I just had to wait. Well, minutes went by. Minutes turned into half an hour, and basically Joseph called 911, and because he was just like, I don't know what to do. And this was like the first time that it had ever lasted this long, and so I was just kind of like, okay, why is this not going away? And I wasn't really feeling dizzy. I just felt like I needed to take deep breaths because it was like I was running out of air. I didn't feel any pain or anything like that. So I was just kind of like, okay. So I went and sat down in the living room and just kind of was really calm and was just trying to send messages to my heart like, dude, slow down. What is going on? So I just tried to slow it down on my own, and I couldn't. The paramedics did show up, and they were trying different things as to trying to get my heart back to normal. Well, first they hooked me up onto some monitors, and they saw that my heart rate was really high. And they said, oh, this is probably SVT. They asked me a bunch of questions and everything, and they were like, this is probably SVT, which is the supraventricular tachycardia. And they were trying to have me do different maneuvers to try to get it back to normal. So they were trying to have me do the Valsalva maneuver, which is basically when you try to strain, almost like if you're taking a poop. So they had me actually take a syringe and try to blow out the front part of the syringe, and they turned it around so that I was trying to basically blow out the part that kind of pushes in. So they gave me that, and I was trying to blow into it so that it could push out, and actually that just made my heart rate go up faster. So that's supposed to kind of help you bring it back to normal. It wasn't going back to normal. It was reaching almost 200 beats per minute. So they were like, okay, we just need to take her to the hospital. So it was about maybe after 45 minutes of this happening of me going through this. We went to the hospital, we got there, and the doctors basically, or the nurses hooked me up, and they saw that my heart rate was high, and they basically said, yeah, she has SVT. What the doctor told me was that SVT is when the electrical system in the heart, so basically our heart beats, we get these electrical impulses into the ventricles and into certain parts of the heart, that have different pathways, and that basically sends the information to the impulse to the heart muscles for them to beat. So SVT is actually caused by a faulty electrical pathway where there's actually, it's almost like an extra pathway that it tells the heart to beat. So it's almost like competing with the other pathways, and that's why it feels like it's going out of sync, and it just makes it beat even faster. And the only way that you can really get that back to normal is by doing some of the maneuvers, just kind of have it go back to normal on its own, or go to the hospital and get it taken care of. Now, people who have SVT, and while they're having SVT, your blood still pumps normally through your body. There's nothing else going on. It's not a dangerous thing from what I have learned and from what I have watched, because I've actually watched a few videos to see what the heck, to see if there's anybody else that's experienced this. He said, well, we tried the Valsalva maneuver there, we tried a few other things, and my heart rate wasn't going back to normal. So the doctor said, well, we're going to give you this medicine through the IV that's basically going to reset your heart so that way you can get back to normal. We just need to make it back to normal again. And he said, you know, at first it's going to feel like your chest is going to feel really heavy, but it takes like less than a few seconds and it'll go back to normal. So it's going to feel really weird and you'll be fine after. So they injected that into my IV, and granted, this whole time I was just really calm. I knew that it would go back to normal. I wanted it to go back to normal, so I was just kind of waiting. And the medicine that they gave me at the hospital is called adenosine. So when that went through my body, it basically stopped my heart. So that medicine actually stops your heart. I know that when I felt it, I felt like this was it. I'm laughing about it now, but I actually, when it was going through me and I felt its effects, I just said, what the F is going on right now? Because it felt like doom. And I felt like there were marbles in my body. It just felt like something was wrong. I felt like I was shaking. There were marbles going through my blood vessels, and all of a sudden I felt like something just almost like a building was on top of my chest. And then I took a breath and I was like, and then my heart was back to normal. That was the craziest thing that I've ever experienced in my life. But I was fine after the medicine was through my system, like it was out of my system. They monitored me for about half an hour to an hour and I was fine. And they sent me back home and they were like, you know what, when you go back to Massachusetts, go see a cardiologist. And that's it. And so I did. And basically my cardiologist said, they did an EKG. He said, well, you should probably see an electrocardiologist, but this is pretty much SVT, which at this point you don't have to do anything about because you're not going to die from it. It's not something people die from unless it's something else, but it's not something that's going to kill you. It's just one of those things that obviously you don't want it to happen to you all day. You don't want to leave it all day like that. If your heart is beating like that all day, then you're going to deplete some of your organs from oxygen. Cardiologist told me there's a few things that you can do to treat SVT. So they can give you like a low dose beta blocker, which I refuse. I just don't want to be on medicine, and I don't want to be on a beta blocker even if it's a very minimal dose, only because there are a lot of side effects to beta blockers. And the other type of treatment that there is called a catheter ablation. So they actually go and search for the little area in your heart that is not normal, and they ablate it and get rid of it. So they basically stimulate the SVT with a catheter and they ablate that area and it's done. And that has a really high success rate. From what I heard, it works really, really well. Obviously, that is an option for someone who experiences multiple SVTs during the year, whether it's like every other day or how many times a month or what have you. Since April, I've experienced probably I've had about 4 episodes since April. The one in April was probably the longest one. I had a brief one, about a 15-minute one when I was back in Massachusetts, and the same thing, when I bent down to get a weight while I was working out, And all of a sudden I got up and I felt it and I was like, oh my God, here we go again. And after 15 minutes it went away and I was fine. The other time was at the gym, same thing. I kind of bent down to get a weight and it stimulated the SVT. That one lasted maybe 10 minutes. I actually had one yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? No, it was yesterday. And I basically bent down to get a weight. I stood up, I put down my weights, I kind of walked around and I was like, we are not leaving. I want to finish my workout. So I sat there and I just kind of closed my eyes and I pictured my heart, just kind of sending information to my heart, like slow down, just slow down. And I pictured my heart slowing down and going back to normal beat. Within a minute or two, it was back to normal. So I wanted to share my experience in case you have gone through something similar. But I would definitely consult with your doctor if you haven't already, because this is not something that you want to say, oh yeah, that's probably what it is. No, this is your heart. You need to make sure that that's not what it is. At this point, I have decided that I don't need any treatment because it's not happening so often that it's interfering with my daily life or with the quality of my life. So unless it becomes an issue where it's happening very often, then I will talk to an electrocardiologist and consider having an ablation. But for right now, I'm just kind of, taking it in stride and living a normal life. Just kind of wanted to share my experience of SVT with a lot of you because I didn't know that's what I had. I had experienced multiple little episodes in the past that never really lasted long enough for me to even care about it. I thought they were just kind of normal, out of sync beats that just kind of went back to normal after I slowed down. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that this was helpful for some of you. If you've experienced something similar, please let me know in the comments below. If you have SVT, let me know how you deal with it and if you have had any treatment for it and how long you've been dealing with it. It'd be interesting to know. Thank you guys. Let me know if you have any questions and I will talk to you soon in my next video. Bye.